welcome to another episode of Make Your Mark podcast. Now, I know I say this all the time, but I have been waiting for our guest today, right? Like, I'm super, super excited. I first met her when I went to an event in London in December, right? In the middle of nowhere where it was snowing, but it was in a castle. Like, it looked majestic. It looked like winter wonderland. It was absolutely amazing. And what she had created there was so awesome. The community she built, I was like, oh my goodness, I know I need to have her on my podcast. So please welcome to the podcast. We have the amazing Liz. Now, Liz, I was going to say your surname here, but I was like, I'm going to mess this up. So I'm going to let you say your surname.
Okay, you're so funny. It's Elizabeth McQuillan. Of course it is.
There we go. Awesome, awesome. Now we've got a little bit of like your background as to what you may be doing. People are thinking, okay, she does financing, she does cars, must love pink and flamingos, right? But before we get into all the awesome things that you do, I would love for you to share with our audience today a little bit about your background, your history. Like, where did all of this actually start?
Oh, interesting. Yes. So we have Flamingo Car Finance and we have Flamingo Business. And it is pink, it is bold, it is bright, and it is bloody fabulous. And I love it. But where does it all come from? Okay, so I've always had that entrepreneurship, that entrepreneurial spirit from very, very early on. Okay. It's just been in my bones. And I can't say it particularly comes from family because it doesn't. In fact, I do believe I might be the milkman's, but that's for another day. But yeah, I've always had that desire to create things that I could sell, and build businesses. I mean, I think my first company that I opened was when I was about 17, and I was at university studying to be actually I was studying performing arts. So I kind of took that role and thought, how can I make money out of this straight away? So I started delivering masterclasses and workshops for local dance and theatre skills. So I would kind of utilize my time and kind of give my knowledge, my experience to these younger people in exchange for, obviously for a fee. So that's when I first started kind of earning money very, very early on. But yeah, where this all comes from. Okay, now I was a teacher for 14 years. You probably didn't know
Oh,
that, Kay, did you?
no, I didn't. Wait, what did you teach?
School teacher, can you even comprehend that? But yes, I taught drama and English for 14 years.
Oh my
But
goodness.
whilst I was a teacher, I also had, let's say what we used to call it, our side hustle.
Mm.
Okay. So I would 5 days a week, being the normal, conventional, never really conventional teacher. And then at the weekends, I would have a theatre school. Now, this theatre school was born on my maternity leave. So I took maternity off and I was like, okay, I've got now 6 months off and I'm going to create a new business. So created that. We launched and hit full capacity in about 3 months. I then had the crazy idea of, okay, we have to open another one. So at month 6, we opened a different division in a different town. That got to full capacity. The following year, we then opened in a different town. And then I said, Jesus, this is going off. Let's franchise. So then we franchised it. Then we we had all these fabulous kids that we were teaching. We said, why don't we now turn this into an agency? It makes sense. So we then created Star Maker Management, which was a casting and modeling agency. We had kids on TV. We had kids in adverts, Hollyoaks, all sorts going on. So that escalated quite quick. And what happened then? My husband said, geez, Liz, you've got something crazy going on here. I've got a business idea, which I know you can help get us off the ground. He had a car finance, so he had a car dealership, and he said to me, "Okay, Liz, things are changing within the industry with the finance, okay? And you don't have to get your finance at the dealership where you purchased the car from. So why don't we go online, become a broker, get the lenders on board, and we can kind of just have our own brokerage of car finance." I was thinking, oh, I just do performing, I can sing a little bit, I do a bit of dancing, I teach drama. Are we ready for this? Are you ready for me? And he said, listen, you are the road runner. I will pick you up, pop you down, and you will run off with this idea. And that's exactly what I did. This
Wow.
happened. This happened in 2020. Okay. And you know what happened in
Okay.
2020? COVID hit. I'd
Mm.
handed in my notice at school. Okay.
Ooh,
We were set to get married in the April. So I'd strategically planned it. Yeah. I would leave school, my career of 14 years on the Friday. We would fly to the Maldives on the Sunday and we would get married and we'd just launched this new business together. So it was all set to be
wow.
perfect.
Right.
And what happened? April, we all got locked down. We all got locked down. And it was just like, wow, you think you've got everything mapped out. And then the bloody big bombshell of COVID comes in just to go, by the way, everything you planned has gone now, everything. So, I'd already given my notice in. So I couldn't kind of take the notice back because they'd already employed somebody else to take me in. The business was clearly struggling because nobody was bothered about a car at this point because we weren't even allowed to leave our houses.
Yeah.
And the wedding, well, clearly I wasn't going over to Maldives. So it was just like, and I just remember at the time so many people saying to me, oh my God, are you okay, Liz? Are you okay? And I remember just going with, as long as we get through this alive, we'll be okay. Because remember, we thought we were all going to die,
Yes.
So I was like, don't worry about the business. Don't worry about the wedding. Don't worry about the Maldives. Don't worry that I'm skint now. Because as long as we get through this alive, we've won. So that was that. Listen, you know what it's like when you're an entrepreneur. Even though you get told to stop and you can't move forward, we go, I tell you what, I'll find my way around this. You will not tell me how to stop and not move on. So every morning I diligently got up in COVID, got myself dressed. Image is a big thing to me. Even behind closed doors, it was like, I can't sit in my jammies. Get yourself in that shower, get yourself clothes on, get your little bit of slap on, go downstairs and get behind your laptop. And I did. And you possibly don't know this, but literally within 3 months of COVID, okay, the business was turning over, writing in finance, nearly 100K months. Okay.
No.
It was bonkers. I didn't even realize how well it was to be writing kind of finance that were exceeding, 6 figures in a month. I didn't
Yeah.
even understand that was cool at that time. Yeah. But it was happening. And I'll tell you how it happened because I'm obsessed with people. I love energy.
Mm.
And I created a community, and you know how it goes, Kay. And I really invested so much time, love, support, value, everything in this community. So we had a Facebook group called it was Flamingo Sisterhood, and it was all to do with the finance. But I would drop in hints and tips on tips on how to overcome the issues of car finance or how to overcome the men at the dealerships. And I would share my story, how I had been that girl that would rock up to the dealership and literally be meerkatted upon. They pounce on you, don't they? They rub their hands
Right.
as soon as you walk in. And I walk out with a brand new car thinking, why has it even happened? I don't even know what my agreement is, what my APR is,
Oh
how
my
much it's
goodness.
for. I would literally just be like, oh, I've just got a new car. Right, where do I go? Literally, I was that girl. So I just wanted to empower everybody in my community with that, with the knowledge to make an independent financial decision. So that's
Mm.
where the finance came into it. And it wasn't always pink. It was, in fact, and when I look this side of the office, is our other branding, which are blues and greens. And that's what it was initially. But then I figured that I've got this community. They don't want blues and greens, they want pinks. So we rebranded and we launched like a female-focused finance brokerage. So that was where that came from. Bit of a long story. Please bear with me. But then we've got Flamingo Business, and people go, so how did you go from the finance
Yeah.
to having this,
Right.
where it's like networking events, business mentoring? But what it was that I tracked my stats, okay, and over a 12-month period, I looked at how where my converted leads were coming from. Okay, as you do, we'd looked at all different. We were playing with all different marketing strategies. We were looking at paid for ads. We were doing a bit of networking. Blah 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 blah. It was quite obvious that 95% of my leads that we were converting were from face to face or online networking. So let's do more of that. Well, then I thought, rather than let's do more of that, let's bring the party to me, and let's just create these networking events, which are quite different to your traditional networking. So that's what I did. So it started off networking. I always did my events. So I always did kind of business events, which, you know, have that certain sparkle to it. Lots of people were asking me for my help, my advice with business. So we went on to kind of doing the mentoring as well. And then we franchised again because I'd done that model before. And yeah, the rest is history, really. So we've got the two businesses that run currently, and they're both pink.
I love it. I love it. Now, I know probably people are thinking, got pink, right? Which totally understandable, and you do help a lot of women, but why the flamingo? Where did the flamingo come from?
This is really quite cute, this, Kay. Ready? Are you ready for this? Because
Yeah.
I might seem that I've got my shit together all the time and that my life's been dead easy, but it really hasn't. I've ticked every adversity box you could possibly imagine, including, you know, nearly dying at 11 with with leukemia, and you know that was a big deal in my life. That wasn't the flamingo moment though. But when I was just turned 30, I had a little 2-year-old daughter. To my ex-partner, he left just overnight and left us quite stranded, and that was a horrendous time in my life that really did, you know, the traumas, you know, the scars, Kay, we've all got them. But that again was a moment where it was a sink or swim for me. And it really has been the catapult and the catalyst in me being successful. So when I met my husband now, okay, he'd had a similar sort of backstory where he'd had his heart ripped out, trampled on, just horrendous. And when we met each other, we were literally the two flamingos' heads. And that's what we used to do. We just used to put our heads together. And have you seen that kind of heart-shaped flamingo where it's two flamingo heads?
Huh?
So we were like, oh my God, we are that flamingo. So we actually incorporated in 2017 as
Wow.
Flamingo Associates. Yeah. So
Oh,
when we were
that is
rebranding,
so
like,
cute.
no, when we rebranded, we said it's got to be flamingos. It's got to be flamingos.
That is the sweetest story I've heard around branding. Oh my goodness, but it makes complete sense. I love it. I love it. Like, it's got both of you. You're like, I feel like you're the face of the business, but it's incorporated you and your husband in this, right? Which is really sweet. Oh my goodness. Now, there is a
Definitely.
question I gotta ask you. It's a bit, might be a bit daring, but I know you're a daring woman as well. Okay. Now, when we came, and I say we, there was a whole bunch of us, right, that came to the event in December, right, at the
Yeah.
castle. December, might be November, I can't remember now, but I know it was snowing. It was so awesome.
Yeah.
You wore an outfit that had everyone talking. If you know that, I don't know if you know that, but it had people talking. Right? All positive, right? And all in a way of where women were like, oh my goodness, I wish I could carry that off. Right? Now, it almost was that flamingo type. It was that pink, right? But it was also like nudie skin color as well. It was all in one, right?
It was.
Did you create that or did you find that in the store? Like, how did that come about?
So I knew it was the inaugural awards. So
Yeah.
I knew, you know, I had to make a statement. Okay. I spent hours scouring the internet for a beautiful dress. So much so
Right.
that I got bored of dresses. And I was like, a dress ain't for me. And I've always said from going to awards since being, you know, as a company limited, that I'd always want to be different. And I always thought, do you know
Yeah.
what? A suit would be frigging amazing. And then I was thinking, no, a suit isn't enough because it's too much kind of, I mean, I can wear a suit during
Right.
the day, but nighttime. So then I found this outfit and I just thought, that's the one. Okay. I actually tried it
Yeah.
on. I have a friend who kind of doubles up as my she does, what do we call them? My stylist. She always comes and helps and sorts stuff out.
Okay.
And I had a few and I was like, this. And but I kind of said no to this one because I thought it was a bit too much. And she was like, bring it, bring it. And I was like, okay, boss, okay, put it on. And I was like, don't know, a bit too much. And she was like, no, this is it. This is the one. So I was like, you know my target audience, don't you? And you know it, and we don't want it. And she was like, that's the one. Now wear it. And I think when you've got an external, you know, professional saying that's the one, wear it, you just think, I'm
Right.
wearing this. The thing is, though, Kate, obviously I've been working with my performance coaches for the
Right.
kind of the previous 6 months. So I had been working on my body and my mind and everything. I'd not had a
Okay.
drink though for 6 months. So normally when
Right.
I'd wear a dress, an outfit like that, it's a little bit of tipple before you go out. Well, that was stone cold sober. So it was literally like, this is it, girl. You've just got to own this, you know? And I'm glad. There was probably a few people that hated it. I'm not. I'm okay with that. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I actually felt brilliant in it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So were you nervous, like coming
Yeah,
out, or just like coming out? You're nervous, like what the hell are people gonna
yeah.
say? So
Exactly that.
so
Exactly that.
how did you deal with that? Because people deal with that on a daily basis, right?
I
Like
know.
if I say this, then they're gonna say that I'm wrong, or they're gonna take it the wrong way. If I do this, it's gonna be interpreted a different way, right? People live like that on a daily basis and live in
Yeah.
fear and therefore not stepping out. So how did you
Yeah.
overcome that?
Do you know what? It's been a little bit of a process, but you've gotta just accept that we are not everybody's cup of tea. It's actually a statistical impossibility that everybody is gonna like you. So if you can get your head around the fact that, do you know what? You're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. They're gonna love it. They're not. They're gonna slag you off. But you've got to go. But that's okay because they're not my people. And we cannot physically please everybody. So you've got to have that in the back of your head all the time that it'll be too much for some people. Some people have things to say, but the majority in that room are gonna really celebrate it.
Absolutely. Yes, yeah. I was like, holy crap, I could not pull that off myself, right? Like you're like 6 foot tall and I'm 4'11", right? So so that wouldn't work anyway, right? But like, yeah, you could tell that you were working up to that outfit because it was pristine. It looked awesome on you, right?
Thank
Now, did you
you.
actually get? You are welcome. Did you actually get any negativity around that? Because I didn't hear any negativity.
I've not, but you don't always hear the negativity, do you? Because it's said
That's
behind your
true.
back. So there
Mm,
could well have been, but that is okay. And do you know what? What we understand as well is that that's just them that them potentially being triggered because you probably would
yeah.
never get somebody like with a figure like mine, with a personality like mine that wouldn't have said, yes, girl, that's the outfit. It'd be people that potentially would think, oh my God, I could never wear that. And that's what they've got going on. They're personally triggered, and that's okay.
For sure, for sure. Now, I want to move on a little bit here and talk about the community that you've built, right? You mentioned it earlier on, building your community. Now,
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that try to build a community that can't do it, or they expect it to be done just like that, right?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to build a community? And
Okay.
what were some of the methods that you used?
Okay. So let's be honest, mine was in COVID, and that was a great time to start building communities because we couldn't go out. So the online community was what we did. You know, I remember just getting excited for Sunday afternoons where people would open a new group. It would be a pop-up group, and you'd all go in and you'd be networking and you'd be dropping your links. And I was literally that dropping the link whore. Wherever I could, it was just like, here I am, here's my message, come and follow me, blah, 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 blah. And I'll be really honest. You've got to, you've got to be obsessed with this, okay? It's got to be a hyper focused thing. Certainly at the
Okay.
beginning, you've got to. At the beginning, you know, it's all about building that community before you can sell to them. You know how it works. And they've got to know, like, trust you before they buy from you. So I just got hyper focused with being in that group. I felt like I lived in my group, everything I did was in that group. Lives, walking to school or walking to the park or just constantly. And the engagement back in COVID days, Jesus, it was just something else. It really, really was. And that's then kind of provided me platforms to whenever I said, I'm doing this, people would go, I'm coming with you. I'm doing that. Yeah, I want a car. It was just beautiful. It was fabulous. And I just remember we'd gone from spending about £3,000 to £5,000 a month on Facebook ads to saying no. And then Phil going, Liz, we've stopped the marketing budget, yet you're still doing brilliant. I mean, what the hell is going on? And I remember going, don't really know because I'm a bit new to this, but it's working, isn't it? It's working. And he's going, keep going, girl, keep going, girl.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now your community are amazing, right? And they're from all different walks of life. They do different things, but they all tend to fit really well. And so I guess what is the next step, right, for Liz and her community? Because I know you've got things ticking up there constantly. So what is the next thing that you are looking to achieve?
Do you know what? I sidestepped out momentarily of the cars just whilst I was building Flamingo business. So really in 2025, I'm gonna be heading back that way a little bit.
Okay.
In terms of Flamingo business, we've got some new ideas. We've got International Women's Day coming up, which we cannot
Yeah.
wait to
Mhm.
celebrate. That is kind of full steam ahead. Tickets went live today. We've sold about 70% of the tickets, so all is good in the hood. And then I'm going to strip it back. Okay, we've got our membership, we've got our exclusive network, semi-passive income is there. We're building that lovely, everything's great. I'm gonna step into, and I know that we said about I've done masterminds in the past, but actually I'm gonna be stepping into doing more of a kind of high ticket one-to-one, working one-to-one more with clients, because what I've realized is that I adore that. I really, really do. And I get these crazy downloads coming in. And I know sometimes these downloads aren't for me, they're for others. And I'm like, when I sit with people and we have our intensive days together, it's bonkers. And I quite often cannot comprehend what comes out of my mind and my mouth. And it's like, this is so obvious to me. So I've had a few people in the past say, can I work one-to-one? And I've never really done it. But now I just think I'm ready to kind of go higher level with just a small amount of people to give them my everything so that I can fully
Oh,
support them just to get, access that kind of level of success that they completely and utterly deserve and should be at.
oh, I love it. Oh my goodness, I'm looking forward to hearing more about that for sure. I'll be looking out for that. Now, something else I gotta ask you, right?
Oh,
Your energy
okay.
doesn't stop, right? Like at that event, from day to night, you are go, go, go. What
Yeah.
is your secret?
So obviously I was working with Nat and Kat, my peak performance coaches, and it's all about fueling yourself for peak performance, yeah, and it is mind, body, soul. So it's that thing about when I was younger, and until I started working with the girls, I am naturally quite slim, but I would quite easily miss meals and things like that because I am go go go. But they taught me that we have to fuel peak performance. If you don't eat now, you're gonna be tired in the afternoon. You're gonna be useless to everybody. So it was all that making sure that we are refueling at the right times of the day, and you won't even realize this, but it's things like I had a compare. So there was moments in the day that I was back at my room taking time out. I would
Okay.
I weren't in that room the whole time. The compare would lead, my guest speakers would be up there, and I would be in the room taking some time out just to kind of regulate, just to refuel. So that was kind of pivotal. Don't get me wrong, it was a hard slog. But I think
Mm,
adrenaline plays a lot with it as well. I've never done an event that was all day and all night before, and that was
right.
it had to be pre-planned. The energy levels had to be kind of figured out before we even entered that whole day. And at the end of it, I've got a photo I'll have to share, but I'm on the floor covering my boobs because thinking don't want one of them babies to pop out. And I had my feet on Phil, and I said, Phil, just massage me feet, babe. And he's there massaging my feet because I'm literally like, we've done it. We've done it.
Oh my goodness. Now, see, I love the fact that you planned. You planned your breaks, what you're going to be eating, how you're going to be eating to make sure that you're able to do that. Because people, especially when people are starting a business, don't they kind of forget about themselves. They
Yeah.
forget to eat, right? And I remember when I got into that situation, right? When I was just working, and I was like, the whole day's gone. I was like, oh, I haven't eaten. I
Yeah.
haven't even had a glass of water to drink since
Yeah.
breakfast. Right?
Yeah.
And so then I have to put in my calendar now. I make sure I have in my calendar at breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
Right? So you actually,
Totally.
and then you go and do that, and then you come back and start working. Otherwise, you'll be working all day, every day, and not even realize how much of a effect negatively that's going to have on your
Exactly.
sleep. Mm,
When that happens, you're not working at peak performance. Your brain
right.
needs nutrition. Your body, your muscles need protein. It's like, we think we're getting hyper focused with work and that's the best thing we can do. When actually, if you stop and eat intermittently and fuel it with the right food, you're so much better. So your performance is better, your business is better. It is a win-win.
It is. It is. But I got to ask you, like, Liz, how does your mind stop? Right? Because when I'm speaking to you, when I see you, I'm like, your mind is completely going, right? But when it
Yeah.
comes to the night and you're sleeping away, how do you stop that? Because again, that's something that I am trying to work on because it doesn't stop.
Yeah. I mean, that is the mind of an entrepreneur. Yeah. And although we might go, oh my God, my mind never stops, it's actually your superpower. Because not everybody thinks like this. And imagine if we could get it to stop and it stopped too much, and you're like, oh my God, we'd be like pulling our hair out, going, where has it gone? My superpowers, where have they gone? Because it is a superpower. I mean, I am quite strict because I've got a little one. I've got a 3-year-old. So, my Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, we switch off. It's never fully off, but I always make sure I get out the house. This is one of my key things. Let's get out the house because you know what it's like. You're in your house. What do? You get your laptop out, you sit on your phone, you work, okay? But if you're out of that environment, you can't. So we do a lot of going to theme parks. We go abroad a lot. We go on holiday, even if just for mini breaks, because I know that I'll need to stop. I just need to recharge. And that is sometimes the only way that you can do it, getting yourself out. So do I sit and meditate? No. I don't struggle sleeping though. I don't struggle sleeping. I can switch off at night quite easily. I do get, depending on what, and you probably get this when you're in launch or whatever, waking up at 4 o'clock.
Oh
You're like,
yeah.
come on, please.
Or like you wake up before your alarm and I'm like, I'm winning at life. Right?
Yeah. But I love Kay. I don't know what you're like, but my superpower hours are the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after this call now, I'm going to be done from work. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to think about picking my little girl up because these later hours are not my powerful hours. My power hours are in the morning. So, getting up at 5, 6, yeah, I have those hours in the morning where nobody's pecking me. Your phone isn't going bleep, bleep, bleep. And you're just kind of you're working on your business, not in your business. And they
Yeah.
are golden hours, aren't they?
For sure, for sure. And it's funny because I find my peak is early in the morning, like literally I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Until about 11 a.m. Right. I'm
Yeah.
good. Then there's noise, then there's distractions, right? But then also I also like the evening when everyone's in bed and it's quiet. Right.
Yeah.
I can get a lot of thinking and a lot of work done then as well. But during the day there's too many distractions going on. Right. My
Yeah.
mum Mom's asking me, have you eaten yet? What are you eating? Do you want me to get this? And I'm like, oh my goodness, all these questions, right?
Yeah. And just generally, there is some platform that somebody's packing you. You've got 10 million platforms, and you're like, have I responded to that? Blah, 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 blah. It's all
Right.
that during the day. Top and tailing, you've got your quiet time, haven't you?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Oh, I love that. I love that. All right. Now,
Yeah.
I know a little bit tells me, Liz, that you have a little gift for our audience.
I do. And this is an exclusive, Kay, because this hasn't gone
Oh,
out to anybody. We
oh
have,
my
yeah,
goodness.
it's an exclusive. We've
I love it.
just dropping that. We've been working on this in the background for a couple of months now to get it right, but I've been working with a fabulous copywriter who a lot of your audience may know, Chantel Davison, and she's been creating a fabulous, helping us to co-create, if you will, a quiz.
Oh,
A quiz.
okay.
And the quiz is all about what kind of networker are you? So it really helps you think, okay, how do I make the most of networking, leaning into my sort of my personality type? And then it kind of pings out with you're a this kind, you're a that kind. This is what you want, this is what you need. Let me help you. So this is brand new.
Nice. I like that. I'm going to take that quiz. I want to know what kind of I
Yeah.
am for sure. That sounds exciting. All right. I love that. I love that. And so, where can people go to get this quiz?
So it is on, if you go, HTTPS. Do we need to say that front bit? Or can you
No,
just
you don't.
You don't. Come
Forget
on,
that.
just the basics in business, love. It really is. It's flamingo.scoreapp.com, or follow me on Instagram at Flamingo Business, and it is there in the bio, and come and take the quiz. I cannot wait to know what you think about it.
Oh, fantastic, guys. If you missed that, make sure you go to the show notes because all the links will be in there. And go ahead and take that quiz because the more you know about yourself, the better your business is going to be. And guys, reach out to Liz, right? Go and follow her on Instagram. Go and stalk her out, right? She is absolutely amazing. And the events and her community that she has built, they are ace. I absolutely love the event that I went to. And she has been in my world since then, right? So, Liz, thank you so much for coming onto the show. Now, do you have any last words to share with our audience?
What I would say is this. Business is business, okay? And in order to scale, to grow your business, you've got to constantly be thinking about different marketing techniques that work for you. My passion, my number one top tip has been that we've scaled our businesses through the power of strategic networking. So if I could give you one last tip on how to make it work, get out there, find the right crowd, be strategic. The power of the follow-up is golden, and take the quiz and we can help you.
Oh, fantastic. I love it. Thank you so much, Liz. Once again,
Thank you.
many golden nuggets in such a short amount of time. Thank you.
That's what we're here for. Thanks, Kay.
Thanks for listening to Make Your Mark podcast at www.makeyourmarkpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And thank you in advance for all the reviews and comments. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.